Well, welcome. Getting ready to do another video today, and I wanted to go through, kind of the process of how I did a video, how I start out, how that whole process works. First things, you want to clean up your axe, and I've got kind of a really nice relationship with this guitar, and I wanted to share that with you today as well. I bought this guitar. It didn't quite look like this when I bought it, but I bought this guitar for $75. I found it used on an internet website that we have here locally, and the guy only wanted 75 bucks for it. Fender Squier. It had a different pick guard on it then. It had the double humbucker single on it, which was great when I was very first started playing. Something that immediately impressed me about this guitar, and I didn't know it at the time, was I could play all up and down the neck, and it played very smooth and very nice. So that initially was a bonus for me, and I learned how to play scales on this guitar. This thing just does not want to pause. But I learned a lot of bending on this guitar. I learned a lot of stuff on this guitar, and it just has just a nice resonating harmonic sound to it. I didn't like the tone that I was getting out of the humbuckers in that setup. It seemed almost muddy to me. Although the guitar played well, I didn't like the way that sounded. So I really wanted to get more of a classic 50s, maybe 60s sound from the Fender type. And I really didn't know what I was doing. So I watched a lot of videos, like many of us do, and I found you could get a pick guard, and you can drop a pick guard in. So I contacted the Fender Custom Shop, and we went with a 60s style pickup. These were more of a Hendrix style pickup for them. Supposedly these are hand wound. The pick guard did drop right in for the Squier. I told them what kind of guitar I had, and they sent me the pick guard. I think set me aside just under 200 bucks. And it really changed the tonal quality of this guitar completely. This is something that I just play nonstop. And originally, I thought I was kind of a Les Paul guy. My first guitar that I always wanted was a Sunburst Les Paul. I found an Epiphone. I've got older videos from when I very first started playing guitar with that. Again, it just always sounded muddy and never really sounded very well, and I ended up selling it here a few years ago. But this has been my go-to guitar. My other one that I really love is my McCarty 594. I really need to do more videos with that, and I think that's going to be upcoming. But I had a video that I really wanted to do today, that I really wanted to play this guitar with. I've got a new Strat style guitar coming, and I really can't wait till it shows up, and we'll definitely down the journey and the rabbit hole and everything with that one. But to play the song I'm going to be playing on this one, I think would be cliche, and I think I'm going to give it up a little bit. So I back this up with my wet dry setup that I have in here, and I've been playing this nonstop for pretty much almost 24 hours straight. Really like this song, and I wanted to bring that to you today. I wanted to bring it to you on my old friend, my guitar that has just been my go-to one. I've learned so much on this guitar, and I don't plan on getting rid of this guitar. This thing is not going anywhere. I think it's just going to have a different tonal quality than the other guitar is, and I think I'll find many places where that tonal quality will come through. So we'll get her cleaned up and ready for show.
you, nothing's all I ever do.
Okay, so we've gone through, selected a song we wanted to play. And by the way, this isn't the song that I'm going to play today. I'm going to leave that one kind of as a teaser and a little surprise, but maybe upcoming. So, but we've selected the song we want to play, okay? I really recommend getting a really good instructional video. You need to know how the rhythm's played. You need to know how ultimately the solo is played. I think the way to start it, and the way for me, is I pull up the original song either in my iTunes or in my Google Play, and I listen to that, and I literally start breaking it down through sections from the intro to the bridge to that. I will say, don't limit yourself to one video. Find one that you're like, man, I really understand the instruction from this person, and I really relate to how they're telling me how to play the guitar. And I think that becomes a little different for everybody, right? But don't limit yourself to one video. Look and see how 2 or 3 other people play that riff, okay? The other thing that I think is really important, and I got this from a John Mayer video. He said, if you want to learn the song, forgive me, this isn't a quote, but I'm trying to do the best I can. He said, if you want to learn the song, he said, know everything about that song. Know where that song came from. So if you have an artist that played a song that's a very popular song, learn who that artist listened to. Do some research on their music. Learn the scale or the root chord that the song is in. Once you know the root chord and you know the song progression, you can find that progression anywhere on the neck. So as you will learn as you play guitar, there are notes and chords all over the neck, different octaves, different pitches or tones, but they are all over the neck. And I would say that's where I'm at. I wouldn't consider myself an intermediate. I'm somewhere between beginner and intermediate player. That's how I feel about rating my own skill as a guitar player. Definitely going to continue this journey. Doing some training through Justin Guitar right now, and that's working out pretty good. So anyway, start there. The other thing is tabs. Go to tabs. If you are having trouble with how to finger a song, you're not getting it from who is the explaining. Sometimes the videos aren't that great, and so you're like, how do I do this chord? How do I do? Tabs are a good resource, is a good go-to. I'm not a big tab learner. I'm more of a visual learner, but I will sometimes go to tabs. There's just some songs that I really wanted to play, and the only way I really got the good instruction off it was to follow through the tabs, take a mix of 3 or 4 YouTube videos until I put it together. Now, going back to the karaoke version, that's what I really like about that, is that it gives you the bass song. Now, you've got the melody, you've got the harmony, you know how it's chorded, you know how the individual soloing is done on that. Now you can develop that song into your song, so to speak. I mean, granted, we're ripping it off from somebody. I mean, this is all a song that's been created by somebody else. But again, our music is in here, and we want to get it out. We want to express it. We want to enjoy that music at a different level than maybe many people can. So we want to play it. It wants to come from inside here, out of these things, and then into the music. It just, when it comes together, it's magic. So, just a recap. Go to tabs, go to videos, play along with the song, break it down into sections. If you want it to sound exactly like the recording, listen to the recording. Know your root notes, know your scales. If you don't know the scale, what a great time to practice and learn it. If you learn the scale, and most of this is based right out of a simple pentatonic, almost every song, especially, and I'm going to be at risk of just sounding awful here, but many songs are pentatonic. Find out what type of scale they use. A lot of times, especially if you pull the tabs, you can find out what the scale is. If they're using a Mixolydian, a Phrygian, a Dorian, or if they're just using a simple pentatonic scale. So once you do that and you spend some time on that, learn how to put your 1-3-5 progressions together, find out where your notes are at. I always found a good way to practice scales was to every time I played the note was to say the note as I went through the musical progression. Well, it does 2 things. It tells you the progression of that song, and it also teaches you some ear training, some tonal training, and it teaches you just how to put that progression together. It's all stuff that all jumbles around in here, and then one day, intuitively, you'll just start playing it. I really want to stick to what the song is about, right? I don't want to alter it to the point where it's not recognizable. But in the same sense, I don't want to play it exactly like the record. I want to put my own flavor into it. I want to find out my own little rhythm, my own soloing, so to speak. Again, keeping the intent and the quality of the song so it's recognizable, but changing it up just enough to where, as Mayer put it in his video, I'm going to rip it off really good.
This man, with all the love that his heart can stand, dream of ways to throw it all away. Oh, gravity, it's working against me. Twice as much ain't twice as good, and can sustain like one half could. It's wanting more, it's gonna send me to my knees. Twice as much ain't twice as good, and can sustain like one half could. It's wanting more, it's gonna send me to